Hi everyone. Little Friday morning church for us today. I had to come on and share about eclipse season starting, and I wanted to just have a moment for connection, for grounding, for a little blip for you and me. There's a lot going on this weekend. If you're in the Bay Area, it's Oakland Pride. And so there's a lot of things happening. And in the stars, because of eclipse season, there's a lot of things happening. And so I wanted to have a moment for us to ground. So let's begin with there. Go ahead and just take a moment and feel your body. And for a moment, just let your mind melt. Just let it slip, whatever thoughts were happening. Carve out this little moment of time. You don't need that. If there's something that's been cycling, returning, going around and returning, going around and returning, go ahead and let that thought just melt. Maybe you'll return to it later, maybe not. Go ahead and maybe attune to your breath, bringing it really deep out, and allow that to keep going. I'm going to, for our reading today, use a new deck I just got. This is Nature Nurture Oracle cards. I was able to get up to Yuba River last weekend. It's a really beautiful space and just be in the water and be in nature, and found this in Nevada City, so I'm sharing it. So go ahead and keep that breathing. Maybe attune some of your energy this way. Maybe consider the nature scenes that liven you up. I'm very much a water baby, but maybe your mountains or snow, trees. And just place yourself for a moment in that nature scene, feeling the support, feeling the calm, feeling how far away to-do lists are, feeling the stillness. And we'll ask, what do we need to hear? Ooh. Wolf and teacher. Wolf and teacher. And as always, the reading is just a time for you to feel read to. We don't really get that as much as adults. And let whatever resonates seep in, whatever doesn't float away. This is the Wolf and Teacher, Mentor. Drawing this card can indicate an important relationship, new teacher, or familiar on the path. Important lessons, skills, connections can be developed at this time. The wolf is also here to remind you that you too are in fact the teacher. You may be called upon to share what you know with others. It's time to own what you have learned thus far. If you've been thinking about bringing your gifts out into the world, this card says yes. If you've been questioning the meaning of a relationship, this card could indicate it's important, that it's one you will soon not forget. But that's it. Maybe you are the teacher. Maybe this is a space where we all come for learning. Many a thing. All right. So I wanted to talk, like I said in the astrology update, about the Pisces lunar, it's full moon total lunar eclipse happening on Sunday, September 7th at 11 a.m. PT, which I obviously think is wonderful. And so it's Friday now. If you're seeing this over the weekend, we're still in the pull already. And then Sunday morning, it will be the full total lunar Pisces eclipse, and then we'll be in eclipse season. And that will go on until September 27th. So we have this kind of 2 week time where instead of our cadence of new moon, planting seeds, dark moon release, and then working up to a full moon and manifesting and feeling that energy, instead it's eclipse season. And I always love to just give a little note around eclipse season, not as a warning. We don't fear these natural transits that are happening, but just as a reminder that this time is a little different. When we're in eclipse season, even though the moon is getting full, the moon is getting new, there are eclipses. So yes, it's a full moon in Pisces, but it's not like other full moons in Pisces. It is this total lunar eclipse. And I'll talk a little bit more about what this moon means. And I've shared a little bit on my page, but I want to just highlight that eclipse season, I call it snow globe time. It is a time when the universe is shaking things up, shaking us up. And I like to think doing the work for us. It is a time that we are not manifesting, we are not pulling, we are not saying, this is what I'm bringing. And I wonder if kind of the wolf, the teacher card is kind of like the universe, like the cosmos being like, hey, I've got you. Like, I'm going to pull some threads. I'm going to shake some things up. That's what happens in eclipse season. Snow globe shaking up. And then at the end of September, it's not going to last forever. After the solar eclipse, things settle like a snow globe, no matter how shaken you are. And as a kid, I'd be like, yeah, I'm from New England. I also apologize if y'all don't know what snow globes are, if this is like a super New England, like old school reference, but it's what I'm working with. Anyway, so I'd shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. And then you think, yeah, like the snow, the thing, all up. They have like glitter ones of this now too. Shake it up. But eventually, you get tired, you get bored, and you stop. Eventually, it's over. And when it's there, everything falls. And my point with eclipse season is we can't know before the snow globe shaking where things are going to land. We don't know where things are going to fall, how things are going to feel, what our priorities are going to be until the end. And what's great about eclipse season is that sometimes it takes things that feel like this insurmountable obstacle and make it really simple. There's a strength in the strength card in tarot. It's like a person standing, and then a lion is like sitting right next to her. And it's all about like our inner strength. And that when we are calm, when we are the eye of the storm, like everything around us also becomes calm, and even big challenges or big ferocious beasts of fears just come and be quiet. So that is my hope and my intention for all of us this eclipse season, that we let the universe do its thing, that and if you don't believe in any of that, it's totally fine, but just that you give yourself a break, that you give yourself a couple of weeks to relax on your goals, to relax on thinking that we have any control, to let some trust in. Why not? We need that as a break every once in a while. So, I also want to mention that this eclipse happening on Sunday is part of a series that started on September 17th of last year. So around this Pisces axis. So you can also think about, where were you last fall? If you want to do some reflecting, what was coming up for you last September? And I know collectively, election time, and getting ready, if you're like where we were last September versus this September. And this lunation will continue actually until 2027. So we have kind of a long time to check back in. So even making some notes about where you were last September or what was going on can be really helpful as this transit continues to come up for the next few years. This is also because it's Pisces. Pisces is a water sign. It is a heart-led sign. It's two fish swimming around each other, really loving depths, wanting to go to the vulnerable depths. And that's that isn't always everyone's comfortable place. And I also think, again, this is like a why not moment. Like, if the universe is throwing this, if this is the time, why not? What does it look like to just say, yeah, like, strip me bare. Like, let's go. Like, actually, I'm holding a lot. Actually, I think we're all holding a lot. Right. And what does it mean? Like, if we just let go, we just say, all right, I'm going to let this be. What needs to happen, what comes up, what needs to go away, what needs to end. I'm tired of holding and pulling and trying to get things. Maybe I'll just let that go. So a reflection question is kind of to investigate. What are you clinging to? What are you bare knuckling through? What would it look like if you just relaxed and let it be? Maybe we'll see at the end of September, it's in a new place or you're in a new relationship to it. Yeah. And so those are the things, I guess. The other, I have a lot of snow metaphors for this. Bear with me. If you're not in a snow place or don't have this, but I guess the other metaphor I had thought of for snow globe season, for eclipse season, is like around, like driving around, on black ice. So there's this thing, like in the winter in the New England or wherever, I'm sure there's snow. Sometimes the road is black. It's you can't tell that it's icy. You can't tell that it's slippery. And you'll be driving and your car will spin out. And the advice is, when your car is spinning out, what you want to do is like try to correct it and try to resettle it. But the advice is to actually steer into it, go with it, and then it will spin and then eventually it will stop. Whereas if you try to go against it and not spin, you might actually hurt yourself more and get more off course. For what it's worth, that is this season for the next 2 weeks, really for the next month. Kind of, how can you steer in, lean in? If something starts to go away, if something starts to shift, if some person or opportunity or relation, routine starts to fall away, even something you've been working really hard towards, maybe you just let it. Maybe you lean into what's already happening and see if that creates a little more space for yourself. And maybe at the end of it, you say, you can look back and be like, yeah, actually, it wasn't worth the fight. So that is, yeah, the mantra is, I surrender. That is where we are at right now. And I do have an eclipse exercise shared. I have a tarot spread on my Patreon if folks want to support there. But yeah, just sending a lot of joy and, I guess, hopes for release. And I say this to myself as much as y'all. It is not my sweetest of spots to be out of control, to be vulnerable, to let go. It is not how I was raised. Like Chinese, Polish immigrant, like, kind of like just get it done, knuckle to the whatever grindstone or like things. And here we are, right? Growing, trying to do something different than has been done in our families, or trying to do something different than has been done in ourselves. And that's what I'm looking for in spirituality and community support. And wish that for you. Sending y'all so much joy. We're going to close with the Numinous Tarot. This is surpassing comprehension or understanding, mysterious. That's what numinous means. This is a version of tarot. It's a little, ethereal. So let's see what message we have for making through eclipse season for this week, especially coming up. Perhaps just this moment of taking everything that's been said and all of these ideas and moving them into our lives as we part. Take a couple more nourishing breaths, ways that come all the way to your body, and maybe shake a little bit or release a little bit as you exhale. Maybe tap the very top of your head. Make sure that your connection point to the cosmos, to our ancestors, to whatever forces are guiding you, are strong, are there, are present. Ooh, we have the founder. Strong imagery here. And this is like a version of the emperor, the ruler, not just the king or the queen, or mystic. I think it's called like the mystic, of a certain suit, of a certain element, but of all, kind of the leader. But look at this energy. I'm sorry, I do not mind this visual, this embodiment. Um, yeah, let's see. Yeah, and for the emperor and the empress, they use the founder and the nurturer. Little queer tarot twist. The founder takes the abundance created by the nurturer and gives it structure, gives it a system, proposes laws and rules. This is someone who recognizes that knowing when to stop is equally important as knowing when to start. As wonderful as it would be just to roll around in the grass, eating and laughing and drinking and loving and indulging all the time, it's not a sustainable option. We need moments of pause. We need to ration our energy, our resources. We need to save up for the long winter ahead. Oh. The founder stands on the nurturer's solid ground and builds a house for us to shelter in. They organize the wonderful dreams made reality into rooms and shelves and cupboards. This room is the kitchen, this the living room, this the bedroom, this the bathroom. This way we know where to find the things we need, or the best places to carry out our creating in a supported way. It'd be hard to cook a meal in the dining room where there's no stove. When this card appears, it may represent a person in your life who has taught you how to be disciplined, or if you're the disciplinarian, that it may represent yourself. Return to the power of the magician and apply it to the situation at hand. Keywords: power, order, organization, structure, systems. I love this idea, the way they're talking about. I think, we're in such a like late capitalism, post like patriarchy, that it can feel like all structure is patriarchy and all structure is evil, harmful, restrictive. And I love this idea of how, do we bring in and embrace some structure and some discipline, especially when eclipse season is happening, because it is big energy, it is big movement, it is big field. So what are the systems that you can put in place now that will really serve you over this month to create some systems for yourself, where you are reflecting, where you are resting, where you are drinking water, where you are doing whatever it is that nourishes your spiritual self, while releasing, right? Create the containers for your grounding, so that as the release is happening, as the letting go is happening, you're not just flowing with it. That's the offering. That's the church. Sending y'all so much joy, and I will see y'all next time.